talk about how to create new exterior cells through OpenMW Construction Set. First, we're just going to create a new add-on. We're going to select Morrowind, Tribunal, Blood Moon. I'm just going to call this new cell tutorial, and we'll create that. So first, what we're going to want to do is we're going to open cells, and we're going to create a new record. And when you create an exterior cell, you're just going to select exterior cell, and you're going to choose the location in the world. If you want a neighbor at a current cell, you want to add the coordinate and then add the next number. So one will be to the left and one will be to the right of these numbers. And one will be forward and one will be backwards, essentially. So like one will be like the column row number of the cell, and then one will be like, or the first one I think is the column number of the cell, and the other one's the row number. It really doesn't matter, but you're just gonna have to do some experimentation. You really don't want to overwrite any of the cells unless if you want to actually change the cell itself, you just want to click view it, and then you can just do your editing over here. This one's from Soul's theme, it looks like. So this will be the cell that you change, and you can just drag objects from here into the world, or you can middle click and select and delete objects, remove trees, and all that sorts of thing. So we're just going to add a new cell, and we're just going to make sure, well, we already added a new cell, but what we're going to do is, so we're going to add record, and then we're going to exterior cell, and then we're just going to go negative 100 by negative at location negative 100, negative 100, and we're just going to create that cell. And right here we have the cell that we created, and it's really just going to be empty with just a plot of water in it. And now you have two options for how you want to edit this cell and create the terrain for this cell. The first way is to click on Lands, and we're just going to take this record, which will be the record of cell, or whatever the terrain looks like in -1, -1. So we can just clone this record, and we want to set it to the ID of this cell, so -100, -100, and that will set the terrain into this cell. And so now you have your cell. So if you wanted to keep this terrain or just modify it slightly, you can do that. And if you want this color specifically, that's also one reason you might want to add it from here, because I'm not exactly sure how to create this record, and you're going to have to do a lot of texture editing through this option right here, and it's really not that easy or useful. So yeah, but basically we're gonna delete that record that we just created. So we'll just delete this record and we will remove that. So to get a new land record, essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna go -100 by -100. We're just gonna create a record, and now you have this flat land. The water will still be under here, as it is the entire map, but that's fine. It doesn't really pose any issues. So we have this cell, and it's kind of floating by itself out in the middle of nowhere. The first things we can do is we can just we can create some terrains. You can change the brush size and brush strength, and we can select bigger areas to edit. And if you click over the arrows, you'll add new cells onto it. These ones are not going to be valid over here, but some will be valid. When you edit the terrain, it will create new cells around it. if you just click the arrow, since there's no like pre-created cell, it won't do anything. But if you edit the landscape, it will create new cells around it. So I'm just gonna Control Z everything if I can. Just to simplify it all down. You can also just delete the cells next to the cell that we created. And then you could go over here and delete the rest as well, because we created a new record for the cells. So now we're back to our single cell, and these ones are all valid. They're not actual cells. So we can decrease our brush size again and just create little humps and stuff like that. And you can change the brush to be more like a loop, so you have these smoother curves, more like the actual Morrowind itself. So that's most of the useful stuff when it comes to editing this. We're just going to save it real quick so we don't, if we crash, we don't bug out or anything like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to want to connect this cell. Since this is essentially a unique area to the rest of the world, we're going to create an instance, or we can view our instances over here. What we want to do is we're just going to select objects. We can exit out of this for now. So the objects and instances are going to be important here. I'm going to use a trapdoor. I think it's n_com trap top. I use this on a different project. So we dragged in this door right here, and right now it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. It's not an activator or really anything else like that until you add a, so you want to edit the instance record, and we're going to add a teleport value. And what we can do with this is we can go teleport, and then we can decide a cell, and we're going to select, just going to go to our cells, and we can select a cell to teleport to. So we'll teleport to Satanin. We'll go to ID, and we'll change that to name to search the name of the area. Interior cells will be, the ID will be the name, whereas over here, whereas exterior cells will be, the name will be the location. So we can go Satanin, -2, -10. So I believe we can just go number -2, -10. You'll see the drop down for everything like that. If you really want to get a precise area, we can view the location. We can just kind of find a location. So -0, I believe, will be in the corner, or 0, will be in the corner. And yeah, that's the basics of it. So we'll just save this. And we're going to go to our cell -100, -100. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to OpenMW, and then we will edit the CFG file. So we'll just double click this on OpenMW CFG file. We'll change the start to -100, -100. I'm not sure if this will be the right thing, but we can just try it out, and we'll just select our add-on right here. We'll see what happens. We couldn't find the cell, so maybe it's a comma. Alright, so here we're in our cell. Our trapdoor is up there. Unfortunately, the one thing I didn't do is make it low enough to where we can access it. So we can open up our cell again, and we'll just preview. So we'll just shift drag right here, and we'll drag it over to like this, and then we'll file save, and we'll open up the OpenMW again. And now we can actually access it. And as you see, it says trapdoor to -2, -10. And when I activate it, it doesn't seem to be wanting to let us teleport to this. So we'll just exit out of this again, and we'll try to figure that out real quick. Everything looks alright. And I have a feeling maybe it'll be this. And we will save again. And we will open OpenMW again. So it seems we can't access this door. So we're going to exit, and we're going to do one other thing just to check. So we're going to go to Satanin. We're going to view this. Okay, we're just going to check this door and see where it teleports to. So if you hover the door, X day shack door. So you can search the instance right here. Underscore shack door. So this is an activator, and we want to find the instance. So we'll just open up instances, which I should have done that the first time. So we'll go negative. We can go X, or we'll just go -2, -10. What we forgot to do, or I forgot to do, is enter the cell. And then we go, make sure it's in quotations. -2 or number -2 -10, and then we just need to find the X day shack door. What we can also do is just search the object ID. So object ID, and we can just go for the X day shack door. Try to find the instance for -2, -10. For some reason, it's not. There it is. So we can edit the record, and we can copy this just to make sure our cell teleports somewhere. So we'll just copy the teleport cell, Control C, Control V, and then we'll just go 116, and then we'll go 56, -76, and then we'll just save that. We'll file save. We'll try it again. So it should teleport us to the same location inside the interior of this cell. And what we can do is just play it and see what happens. And now we teleport to the interior of this cell. So now we could add another door that teleports us to the location of the activator we just placed down, the door that we just placed down. So how we can do that is we're just going to go reverse of what we just did. And we'll check the interior cell of the Satanine lighthouse. So we can get rid of this and we can get rid of this, and we just need to find the cell Satanine lighthouse. So we'll just view this record, and we're just going to need the instance of the door inside. So that will be the top door, I think. So in common lighthouse will be our record. Our X day shack door for the interior of Satanine lighthouse. So we'll just scroll up to Satanine. It should be the first one. And we'll just edit this record. And we'll make the teleport cell our new cell. So we can exit out of this. And we can get rid of this. And we can just make it -100. And you can just go 0, 0, 0. And we don't care about the rotation either. So we'll file save. And what we can do is just make sure it teleports us right next to the door. So in underscore com will be our object ID, and it will be this location right here. So we'll find the instance, edit the record, and then we'll just find its position in the world. So we'll just copy what's up here, -64, -200, and then -664. And we can file, save, and then when we open up this again, should be able to teleport to the cell in the lighthouse, and then we will teleport back. If we can exit out of this door, let's try that again. Sometimes your location when you enter the door will change where you end up inside the cell just by a slight hair. What I forgot to do is -100, -100. File save. Should be number -100, -100. So this time should be the time that works. So go back inside the lighthouse. Fortunately, we fell down. Maybe we'll just put our teleport position up to 100 just to make sure that it's not disallowing us from moving just because we're too low on the ground or something like that. Try to maybe I messed that up a little bit. But I guess I maybe put the teleport position in the wrong cell. So we'll just go 100. So this is our location right here. Sorry, I mixed those up. So -664 would be fine here. And then we want to change this to what's up here. So we'll just Control C to make it easier. I think we might be teleporting outside the cell is the issue, and that's not going to work. So and then that should maybe work now. Teleport's enabled, everything else checks out, so we can just go back and forth. This really from this part on, you might not need to watch, so feel free to get working on your own project. We have door to negative 100, negative 100. Still not working. Maybe it's because our cell is a name. So we'll edit this record and we'll just call this cell tutorial. File save, and then we can try to we'll change the position in Z to something a bit higher than this. And we'll go 400. Zero, zero. This can be a bit buggy, so it might take a lot of tries to get where you want to be. And let's just take a look at the other records. Just to make sure. So we have this top door, and we'll find the instance for this. So it's going to teleport us into an exterior cell. So x underscore day underscore shack door. And we can close out of this. It'll let us. We can also just close over here. And we'll find Sedanine Lighthouse again. And we see that it's just the general teleport position. So we'll just remove the cell number, and then we'll type this in for our global coordinates. And that will solve our problem, I believe. The best way to solve all your problems is really just to look at the original records and see how they act. So we'll file save. It's been a while since I've edited doors and stuff like that, so that's kind of my problem. So we got Sedanine Lighthouse, and now we have teleporting back to our area. So yeah, that's the basics of creating exterior cells and then actually getting to them, especially when you want to teleport to them and they're not part of the actual world and they're not an extension of the actual world itself. So hopefully this was helpful for some of y'all, and thank you for watching.